The Union Cabinet today, in a significant move, has given a go-ahead to the Data Protection Bill. The bill was long anticipated and much awaited in India. It is something that a special committee headed by Justice Sri Krishna had already looked into. There are two drafts that have been floated in the public domain for wider consultations, and thousands of opinions and criticisms were invited when those drafts were put in the public domain. Not to forget that the Data Protection Bill is warranted by the judgment of the Supreme Court, the Puttaswamy judgment, which lays down privacy as a fundamental right in the country. Well, it is indeed a matter of shock and awe at the same time that a country like India, which is witnessing a digital revolution of sorts with so many companies, intermediaries and new players entering the market, and the data of 1 billion plus individuals being available on multiple platforms, there is no cohesive Data Protection Act at this point in time. Many experts argued that was a lacuna in law and it needed to be addressed. When this bill is tabled in the parliament, here are some key things to watch out for. Number one, the bill is expected to lay down the guidelines as to how the data of the users is going to be stored, used, or in any form disseminated. Secondly, the element of consent, how a particular user or an individual consents to the sharing of the data or how it might be used by a third party is another crucial facet that the law will touch upon. And more importantly, big corporate giants like Facebook, Twitter, which are often accused of collecting the data of the individuals and using it for commercial purposes, these foreign entities, to what extent these entities can use this data is also a subject matter that this law will touch upon. It will lay down the guidelines and the rule of law in terms of how this data ought to be shared. One another aspect that we need to watch out is for the government. Well, are there any freewheeling rights that have been given to the government when it comes to how this data ought to be used by the government agencies? There were various concerns that were even earlier raised in the Supreme Court when the privacy debate was underway, that the government should not be given a free run in terms of access to the users' data. When it comes to matters of public order, national security and various other issues, to what extent can the government really access the data of the individuals and what kind of permissions or approvals they might require. The Data Protection Bill is expected to touch upon all of these aspects. The lines that the law will draw are going to be very critical in the times to come, because they argue that data is the new gold for today's day and age. Data determines a lot of things. So the manner in which the Indian government decides to guard the data of all of its citizens is going to be a crucial step to watch out for.